What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Joseph, and welcome to another episode of Comic Breakdowns. Today, I'm bringing you this one-shot Marvel All-in-One, The Thing versus the Marvel Universe, written by Ryan North with pencils by Ed McGuinness. Let's get into why The Thing is fighting everybody in the Marvel Universe. I'm telling you, you won't be prepared for what really happens. Our story kicks off with our ever-loving Blue-Eyed Thing returning home from a solo mission. He kind of is getting tired and he's kind of bored with everything that's been going on lately because it seems like there's always a new threat facing the world, the galaxy, or the universe, and only the Fantastic Four seem equipped to handle it. So he's kind of wants a little bit of time to just like rest and recuperate, and he thinks he may actually get this until you notice in the lower right hand corner this surface-to-air missile that comes flying toward him out of nowhere. The Thing's plane explodes and he is hurling to the ground with a busted parachute. How could it possibly get any worse? The Thing notices that his parachute took about as much sharpening damage as he did, and then he sees Johnny, Sue, and Reed, and he's like, thank God someone's here to help me out. Johnny then lets everyone know that Ben survived the attack, and then Sue tells Johnny, you know what to do, right? Johnny replies saying, I sure do, and then we see him flame on and burst the Thing's parachute into smithereens. And Ben's like, what the heck, what's going on? And then he's like, Susie, it's me, The Thing. And she hits him with an invisible punch. And then Reed was like, we know it's you. That's what makes this so much harder. And Susan then replies like, because you don't understand why we have to kill you. Ben is trying to figure this out. He said, is it mind control? Is it hate monger? Is it Psycho Man? Is it some other creep? And he's like, look, I'm not trying to hurt you. And then Reed interrupts him by saying, it's a shame we can't say the same for you. But in that moment, Ben goes from a free fall into a curled up ball, and then the unimaginable happens. Ben comes smashing down so hard on Mr. Fantastic that it sends his insides coming out of all his extremities, and we see this head, hands, and feet basically pop off. And that's when the Thing realizes, oh, you're robots. Like, you must have been programmed to do all of this. But it's like, I'm impressed that you're able to duplicate the powers, but you're a lot weaker than the real Mr. Fantastic, because Reed would not have popped out of this normal type of attack. Now that our hero knows that they are robots, he wastes no time dealing with Johnny Storm and Miss Fantastic, and he dispatches them super easy. And you see the carnage that's left behind. And he's like, well, since I know that you're machines, you know what time it is. And he gets ready for his infamous quote, it's clobbering, and then he's cut off. Alright, I'm going to give you a little nostalgia here. This moment in this comic reminds me of the first episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cartoon, when the Turtles had to go up against the Foot Clan and they realized that they were robots, and then all of a sudden they started to cut loose. Check it out.
Clang? Did you say Clang? Check those dudes out. Dudes, nuts. They're robots. Robots? Let's rock! Show him some moves, Donatello!
Alright, The Thing was just about to utter his famous catchphrase, clobbering time, when he sees a parade of missiles approaching him, shot from Iron Man. We get a devastating kaboom with the hopes that Iron Man has finally destroyed The Thing. And we still don't know why these robots are attacking our hero. Iron Man then reports back to the Avengers, letting them know that Ben Graham is down and that he hit him with everything he's got. And let's get some other people on the cleanup duty. We next see Ben leap out of the rubble, letting Tony know you made a big mistake because I'm about to hit you like a ton of bricks. Then the Tony robot comes back with a quip of his own, saying like a ton of bricks would have been smarter and would have used the element of surprise, and he hits Ben with the repulsor ray. So Iron Man repulse blasts Ben up the side of a building and lets the Avengers know that the Sting is still active and that we should do the assembling thing. And the Thing is like, wait a minute, everybody's here to robot the Avengers, everybody in the city? And Tony's like, yes, everyone, and we all have the same mission to destroy you. At this point, the Thing uses his momentum and kind of lets Iron Man know what's going on. He was like, Reed would have came up with some kind of EMP to shut you all down. Sue would have blocked your signals or used some kind of way to crush everybody's with a force field, and the Human Torch would have melted you all. But you ain't dealing with them, you dealing with the Thing. The Thing then grabs a piece of the building, flips himself, and comes down charging and says, I gotta say, from a different perspective, this just has to be a revolting development, and snatches the Iron Man head off of the robot. Ben then sees a full cast of Avengers ready to go in on him. We got Captain Marvel, Storm, the Vision, Black Panther, Captain America Sam Wilson, and Wanda Maximoff. But in the upper left-hand corner, you notice Spider-Man is also swinging in. So let's see how this turns out. To Ben's surprise, Spidey's like, I'm here too, and I can't stand all you duplicated robots kind of take over the planet. And Ben is like looking excited, like, oh hey, Spider-Man, this is great. And Spidey's like, look, you want to smash and kill some robots with me? Like, sure, I have nothing else I would rather do. And Spider-Man and the Thing go at it, the ultimate team up to take down these robots. Now Spidey and Ben go at it with the robot Avengers, and Spidey's kind of telling him this happened a couple of days ago while you were away on your space mission, and he's getting ready to explain the origin. And the Thing says, look, if you could just focus more on punching, we'll get to origins later. Ben starts to keep a little score count, let Spidey know he's taking down the clone Vision as well as the clone Captain America. Spidey lets the Thing know that he has Black Panther neutralized, and that Captain Marvel is about to hit him with a blast that he don't think he'll be able to survive. But then he changes his rhetoric and says, but luckily I don't have to. And Ben's like, what? Like, kind of like, what are you talking about? We then get a Spidey with an infamous quip. It's like, surprise, betrayal, I'm a robot too. Like, how's that for you? Like, don't blame me. It's just how I was programmed. And Captain Marvel's like, don't worry, Ben. It's like, this is all to be over soon. We next get this beautiful splash page shot of Ben getting blasted horizontally through buildings, while Captain Marvel says, don't worry, this all will stop hurting once you die. I love the layout of this page, how it looks a true inspiring piece from the artist. After the blast, the Thing then replies, like, you think I ain't been thrown through a building or two before? Like, I invented throwing people through buildings. Like, and in case you haven't figured it out, it's still clobbering time. So he's mad and ready to fight. It is not over yet. The Thing is not down for the count. We now see Ben having to face a whole bunch of heroes and villains, and Doc Ock says he's the last living human on the planet with a biological life, and now he's in for it. Let's see how many of these people I can name on screen. We got Colossus, Wolverine, Silver Surfer, Green Goblin, Moon Knight, Cyclops, Wasp, Doctor Strange, Nightcrawler, Punisher, She-Hulk, Venom, Toad, Medusa, Juggernaut, Black Goliath, Daredevil, The Blob, Firestar, Awesome Andy, Doctor Doom, Abomination, Beast, and Moondragon. So that's everybody that you see on screen currently. Spidey leads the attack, but then gets caught by Ben and kind of like, what? Like, yeah, I can move fast when I want to. And like, you didn't see that coming. I figure you can duplicate everything but Spider-Man's Spidey sense. The Thing ripped Spider-Man's arm off and said, you can fake these parts, but you can't fake all the other stuff. So the tech will actually do me pretty well. The Thing then proceeds to use one of Spider-Man's web shooters to fit on just one of his fingers, and he webs up everybody around him, saying that, you know, I'm too heavy to swing from one of these, but it has other purposes. The Thing yells out, who ordered the hero ball, and he's getting ready to throw it into everybody else, and Captain Marvel says, Storm, take care, this electrocute him, and she's like, of course, and she didn't tell Scarlet Witch, just in case, you know what to do. I love how we now see bigger threats with a robot Galactus in the background. And then Scarlet Witch is getting ready to hurl her famous words, saying, no more fantastic, and then she's knocked out with the web line, which is a throwback to a line she used back in the day when she said, no more mutants and all mutants lost their powers. And now I have to read this part directly because this shows how smart Ben really is. He says, I was waiting for this one. Like, I'm not a dummy that you all take me for. Like, I learned early on that the rocks that make me up, they aren't conductive. And that means that any electricity you send my way is going to take the path of least resistance, and that isn't me. And then you see the line that he connected to Scarlet Witch. So when Storm blasted him, the lightning went from Storm through Ben to Scarlet Witch, obliterating her. Super smart move by the Thing. Alright people, we all get the battle we've been waiting for. Hulk versus Thing, a classic matchup that has happened multiple times in the Marvel Universe. And we see Hulk jumping down, getting ready to go at it. But on a twist note, Ben uses two cards like Hulk Fist, like how Hulk used to do. Let's see what happens. Ben actually uses the cards as shields to kind of stop Hulk's punches a little bit. But he said, you know, how come you always get the sonic boom claps and the one-liners? Let me try this one on for my size. And then we get Thing smash, and we see him hit the Hulk robot so hard in the abdomen coming together that it knocks off the robot head. Excellent. It gets no better than this, people. The Thing is really cutting up, destroying the Marvel Universe robots. We now get an even bigger threat with the robot Dark Phoenix coming into play. And she was like, you're tougher than you look, but not smarter. And he's like, I think that's kind of a compliment coming from you. And then she's like, don't worry about it, but I think I'll shoot for the moon to stop all this from happening. And you know what this means, that she's going to actually use an entire moon to try to take on the Thing. And there you have it. Dark Phoenix actually conjures up a moon to bring down to destroy the Thing. And he's like, oh man, for the lover. This is also a throwback to a scene from the MCU during Avengers Infinity War when Thanos conjured up a moon to throw at Iron Man. Check it out. We then get the massive kaboom! In the aftermath, looks like everything has been destroyed, and the Thing seems to be like left alone on like a completely eradicated Earth. You like talk about clobbering time, like nothing's there, it's just pieces of the moon and just dust. So now we finally get to see who orchestrated this whole event, and I gotta read some of this to make it make sense. This person comes in talking about something, you fool, you complete an other thing, and then being like, oh, hey, Impossible Man, they have an Impossible Man robot here. Oh, this is gonna be the cherry on top of the sundae. Like, I'm not a robot, you dunderhead. I'm real. I'm the one who built this world. It was supposed to be the big hairy mystery, and then you kind of just messed everything up by just smashing everything. You didn't even ask questions like who created these robots, why were they attacking, what happened to everyone who lived there, why were they duplicated. Like, you didn't even trip when the Invisible Woman like punched you, and you even mentioned it, like why would she punch you instead of containing you. Like, this was supposed to be a big event and you just messed it all up. So let me give you a little background on the Impossible Man. He is like a interdimensional like imp, like this alien creature from a planet who called Poptopia, and has like reality warping, all manifesting powers. So he always like messes with the Fantastic Four, annoys people, and can create anything. Also reminded me of another character very similar in the DC universe called Mr. Mistleplay. He's also like this interdimensional imp that kind of has like reality warping powers and kind of always comes back every now and again to torment Superman. At one point, both have even appeared together in the same comic and kind of talked about each other and kind of like reminded themselves how similar they are, which is very like a big hit to Marvel and DC since they used to always copy off each other, and I think continue to still do so. Now the Impossible Man tells Ben about this plan. Like, it took me years to work on this. I made this world, created centuries of lore. You know, there were twists, betrayals, moments of self-discovery and recognition. You're like, do you know how long this took me, how incredibly tiring this was? And I kind of used some of my own, like, pieces of my own planet to kind of like make this a reality for by me directing your ship somewhere else. You're like, you know, you just make me sick. And Ben kind of was like, you know what? This was actually pretty fantastic. I actually enjoyed this. The Thing tells the Impossible Man, like, you know, when I landed here, I was frustrated, I was angry, I was down in the dumps. And you actually gave me a reason to like blow off some steam. Like, it was like exercise and therapy all in one. Like, you know what, and I actually learned something about myself and about relationships and the people that are here for me. And the Impossible Man, like, whatever, you know, I'm turning my planet back to the way it was before I started this whole thing. The Thing closes by telling the Impossible Man, like, you know what, maybe we can do this again sometime. Like, it was entertaining and it was the best workout I've had in my life. And then Impossible Man, like, I guess we can do this, and you know, it may be fun, but next time I promise it's gonna be bigger, more explosive, more mind-bending twists, and you'll have to explore. And the Thing's like, you know what, I will actually love that. Well, there you have it, people. Marvel all on one, The Thing versus the Marvel Universe. Drop a comment below to let me know how you thought about this issue. What were some of your favorite parts? Is it worthwhile? Should Marvel do more one-shots like this? Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to know when new content drops just like this. And I'll catch you all next time. Peace. If you don't have it, you are truly missing. What's up? We are talking about fiction and flow. What's up? If you don't have it, you are truly missing. What's up? We are talking about fiction and flow. What's up? If you don't have it, you are truly missing.